Good evening, and I love you. Thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Peterson Lockhart, and I am the Chieftess. And I am celebrating an anniversary, and I wanted to get on here and share my experience, strength, and hope with you all, and just connect with some of you and see how everyone's doing. And I want to first say, for those who were waiting, since I did post a time that was much earlier than this that I was going to start, I apologize and I thank you for your patience. And I'm going to be brutally honest, because that's how I am when I share about these things. I'm a Capricorn, so when things don't run according to my schedule and it's not very like it's supposed to go and very professional and very like this, I get really agitated, and it just makes me want to be like, forget it, and then I feel like a failure, and it's all upside down, right? And I'm sharing this because I think with all this transition that we're all going through right now, with everything changing for everyone, all of those judgments and harsh beliefs about self just need to get thrown out the window. They're just not useful. So then I was like, okay, it didn't go your way, so why don't you still go chat with everybody? So at the same time, you know, we have a situation going on the planet right now where if I get someone to be, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I had said I was going to go live at 7. It's now like 8:30, something like that. My AC is not working. It's very hot. So I got to have someone come here and check my AC and check on some things that, you know, I don't know how to do about myself. How you like my crown? Shout out to the Happy Empath on Instagram. I think she's the same on Facebook. I'll find the link for those of you that love my beautiful fire crown. The Happy Empath. She makes amazing things. So my AC wasn't working, and then I still got to have someone come and check my, check my air conditioner. So when we're in a situation where you can't get someone and people are staying home and it's the weekend and I have the opportunity to have someone come check, I had to take that. So I was not able to start on time. However, I'm grateful. Excuse me, it doesn't always work on my plan, does it? Again, that's why I thought I'd still get on here and share all that, because wow, what a time we are in on Earth, right? Nothing is normal. Nothing is as it was. And nobody has a schedule. At least it's not the same, right? So everyone is affected, and everyone is feeling it, you know, in a whole lot of ways. Many of us are lacking the human connection and the, gosh, so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute and say, first of all, hello to all of you. I love you. Thank you for joining me. I love you so much. I'm so truly grateful to be here. I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about how I woke up and I was like, it's my anniversary, and I wanted to tell everybody. At the same time, this is beautiful. Everyone in my family forgot. Do you know how joyous that makes me? There was a day, my makeup looks great. I'm not going to cry. Let us just dry that up right now. Okay. There was a time when we were all like, you know, whether or not I'd make it to a year, to another year. And so nobody missed my anniversary. We all knew when my anniversary was. So to wake up and to, number one, for no one to remember of my family, who that was like, you know, the core group, right? And then number two, to want to sing to the high heavens and tell everybody about it, where before I was like all hush hush about my personal business, the fact that I was a recovering addict and alcoholic, and now I'm like, guess what? It's my birthday. Do you like my crown? Right? That's awesome. That's an awesome evolution. And so let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I now have managed to take the most simple concepts of some of them from my program of recovery, some of them from my education as a personal trainer and nutritionist, some of them as my experience as a mom, some of them as my experience as an intuitive healer. I'm going to tell you all the things that I do on a daily basis to keep myself balanced and calm. And I do. This is me like tripping, you know what I mean? Because it didn't go on my schedule. In fact, this is the stuff I do now when I trip. I wear a crown. And wait till you see my twirly skirt, but I'll show you that in a minute. So I have some tools now, you know, and life is really good. So the first thing I want to do, because I know there's so many people that are at home, and there are possibly some of my friends at home that have sat on their butts all day and not had any exercise, right? Holla if that is you, or don't. Let's just change it, all right? If you are permanently seated, then you can do all the exercises seated. But for those of us that can stand up, I want you to simply stand. I'm just going to have us stretch our diaphragms, take a couple big breaths, calm down, get in our bodies, get ready to connect. How about that? All right, are you ready? Check it out first. What? Look what I have. Hello, darlings. Hello, I love you. I love you, Rick. I love you, Lester. I love you, Christopher. This is the love frequency. Isn't that pretty? This is a Tibetan singing bowl. For those who have never seen this before, close your eyes. Feel it. Isn't that lovely? Oh, so peaceful, right? Oh, so peaceful. Okay, so let's stand up. Oh, goodness. Let's stand up. I think I'll be on here. I cannot bump my head, cannot bump my crown. And you can see my twirly skirt. Look at that. That matches my eyes. All right, let's stand up. Let's stand up and let's take our right hand and reach up. And with your palm open, just reach. Reach and take a big breath. Reach as far as you can. Exhale and relax. Switch sides. Ready? Hand goes up like this. Reach. Inhale. Inhale. Big breath. Reach as far as you can. You can also do it seated. You can do the same thing seated, right? Here I am in my chair. Okay, switch sides. Big hand. Reach. And exhale. Release. Last time. Inhale. Reach. Take a big breath in and exhale. Now, if you are willing, take your chair, take your comfy seat wherever you are. Simply close your eyes. We're just going to take a few cleansing breaths to simply calm down our bodies, which will help calm down our emotions. And then we'll all be a little more receptive to connect and get in the solution. How about that? It's really cool how we can do this. So, if you are willing, close your eyes, and when you take your inhale, bring your chest forward and let your chest really, really expand and your shoulders come back. And then when you exhale, let your body kind of fall forward a little bit and relax. And just feel the power and the expansiveness of your lungs. If you want to make it even better, take a big breath of love each time. Are you ready? And exhale. Exhale any junk that you just don't need anymore. Ready? Go again. Here we go. And exhale. Exhale any drama. You don't need that, nor does your mama. Ready? One more. Inhale of beautiful love. Ready? Inhale. And exhale. How good does that feel, right? Do you feel brand new? So good. Okay, so let me tell you about myself. I told you my name. I told you who I be. I celebrate 13 years today sober from drug addiction and alcoholism. I would call myself a hard-headed offender. I have been, well, I'll tell you a quick story. Let's see. We'll talk about it for a little bit and then we'll get in the solution. So, I always find it interesting whenever I share a story about my recovery that I think that the problematic behavior or belief system started before. Like when I first would tell my story, I'm like, the problem started when I was 24. And then, like, you know, a little time passed and I'm like, the problem started when I was 19. And then, you know, backtrack. And so now that I've been at this a little bit, I believe that, well, I'll speak for myself and my experience. It is my experience that I came with, and those that I know came with like a God-sized hole. We all came with a God-sized hole, and we're always trying to put something in it until we find God, or, you know, our higher power, or, you know, whatever that all that is thing is for us, right? Whatever you want to call it, whatever your word is. Otherwise, like, we think we're shoveling more shit in it, but we just get a bigger hole. And so whether it's addiction or an eating disorder or a behavior that is problematic and destructive, the hole grows as the belief, the behavior, the practice grows until we, you know, find that power greater than ourselves and align ourselves with it. And then we're able to change the belief system, the behavior, and the way we're being. So I believe I came with that. When I was really, really little, I really knew God. I can remember, like, so much that it felt foreign because those around me didn't. And when I guess I related in my way of that I did, it was probably pretty whack for many, because I really felt like I really knew God when I was little. In fact, I didn't feel like I lacked in any way, personally. I really loved myself. I loved others and everything around me when I was really little. I wanted to live by myself in a little house in the woods by myself. Not sure how that was going to work, but I was going to dye my own clothes with berries and stuff like that. I don't know. When I was really little, that's really all I really wanted, just to live in harmony with nature and just be at peace. That was it, right? So then, you know, I grow up, I start learning about other people's belief systems, what's going on around me, and I decided to adopt some of that, and my ways of being and what I think I want and who I am change. And then I become very concerned what others think of me. And I feel either not enough or too much all the time. At this point, I put me away. The me who knew God, the me who knew the earth, the me who just knew harmony, like just in existence. She's gone. And there's another girl who, she's a quick study, and let me tell you, ooh, she can copy behavior and blend in and become a chameleon. That was a rhyme. Like nobody's business. So she studies how to be, how not to be, what to say, what not to say. And I would say I start exhibiting problematic behavior in middle school in the form of eating disorders first. In late middle school. Well, I mean, like, already in my head, I was a head case from, like, the time that I can remember. Like, after I put that, like, very authentic part of me away, I was a head case. That's just the straight up square. That's just how it is. That's for real, for real. So, notice I say I started exhibiting problematic behavior. I was a head case way before that. I was like, you know, The world hated me. Everything was, it was me, and then there was the world. I was not with the world at all anymore. I don't even know how to put it into words. There was just like no harmony. There was just dis-ease and disrest, and nothing was good enough, and I was afraid all the time, even when I was little. I mean, I can't think of any, like, just one thing. It was just like perma afraid, you know? But you wouldn't have known it, because I always know how to have a big voice, and I knew how to hide it well. That's what I mean. She became a quick study, and I was able to birds of a feather flock together. Rose, Maeve, 7, Denise. Mwah, I love you. I became a quick study of how to behave and how to hide who I really was. And I was extremely afraid of being vulnerable. I did not want you to know how sensitive I was, and that I was really caring, and I really wanted you to like me. I really just wanted to play. I longed for that connection and that harmony and that peace when I was a kid. I couldn't have articulated that to you before. I couldn't have said that in those words, but that is the truth. I wanted that connection again, and I felt the absolute lack of. And so, again, I see this now. You know, I tell this now. I don't remember feeling any of. I wouldn't have been able to see this. I wouldn't have been able to say this in those words prior. And so, by late middle school, early high school, I am full-blown anorexic and bulimic. I got a nice little combination going so that I can control what I'm eating. Do what I want, damn it, basically. I was not overweight. I was never overweight. I was a freaking string bean. So it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that everybody tries to make me do this, and everybody tries to make me do that, and everybody wants me to look a certain way and talk a certain way and act a certain way, live a certain way, bleh. I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want, damn it. Right? So I guess that's what's up with that, right? And then that lasted a bit, but that was like really hard to maintain as an athlete. It's really hard to like not take in any nutrients when you're playing sports, and I was a really gifted athlete from the time I can remember. So let's see here. After that came legal speed in the form of by the way, I should have prefaced this to begin with that this is Adult Swim only. My experience in this way is not for little people, nor is my mouth when I get to some situations, or at least that's been the way it has been in the past. So this isn't for your kids, for the little ones. So I started, I got into legal speed in the form of like white crosses, pink hearts, and black beauties, and because I could buy them, and oh my God, the only thing better than going really fast was going even faster. You know? And so I loved that. And I remember like being in the 9th grade once, and you know, it was so like what I see is I'm such a straight shooter the way I talk. I so see it as like white girl problems, like, you know, like we were just popping legal speed, like we didn't, I mean, none of us, I don't know why I was really doing it, right? I just was doing it. And so I remember one day I had drank a buttload of Mountain Dews and popped a buttload of these stupid ass pills, and we went to a freaking tanning bed, and I like passed out, like kirked out, my body short circuited inside the freaking tanning bed because I was like seriously dehydrated. I mean, thank God I didn't die. So, you know, I don't even know if I had any water in me. So I got out. I remember telling my friend, I was like, dude, I passed out. She was like, dude, you passed out? And, you know, I don't remember how long that went on. I think I tried alcohol for the first time. Well, let's see here. I wasn't really thrilled with alcohol in the beginning. That's what's so funny. I tried alcohol. Well, I take that back. I tried alcohol in the 9th grade. The first time I really remember, like, taking a sip from my parents' liquor cabinet off of every bottle, getting drunk. I fell down the front steps of my house. Boom, crash landing right in the front steps. Hit the ground, which made me laugh my ass off. I thought that was hilarious. And I did love that. I loved being that out of control, because I've always been such a rigid control freak that it was like I didn't have to make the decision not to be in control. It was made for me, and I loved it. I didn't give a shit that I fell on my face. If I remember correctly, I think I got back up to see if I could make it the second time. But then I didn't do much. I had like a little bit of interaction with alcohol here and there in high school, but not so much because I was an athlete. And I was really like a little goody two-shoes, or I was like trying to be, because I was like, you know, I was always jacking myself up in my own head, and it was not a happy place to be. So besides, I like nagging everybody else and writing them about their business back then. So, you know, it's so much easier to be ahead of everybody else when nobody knows what they're doing. You just like try to be better than them instead of focusing on your own shit. You know what I mean? That's totally the truth. Story of my life. So let's see here. We are, and then my family was military, so we moved around a lot, and we graduated high school. And so, at the end of high school, I graduated early. I'm trying to think when I started this. I cannot remember exactly when, but I think it was around the time anyway. I graduated high school early, and around that time, I started doing crystal methamphetamine. And I moved out of my parents' house at 17. And then I lived with the guy I was dating. And no, wait, is that first? Yeah, that was first. And then I lived with a friend, and I did a lot of partying there. I was on meth pretty much around the clock, unless I was sleeping once a week. That was a crazy life. Yeah, I would stay up for days and not eat for days. And then consume mass amounts of food for a little bit and then do it again. Again, who knows why, just because I could, you know, because I had issues. And drinking was never too big of a deal there, and again, because like drinking made me feel out of control, and I really liked to be able to focus. So like, you know, I would have a drink when we went out to clubs. I always had a drink on the bar because I knew that that was what I was supposed to do with the bartender. So like, I always socially drank, but I wasn't really getting out of control with that because I was getting out of control with other things. So, let's see here. I gotta fast forward this because we just gotta highlight this stuff, and there's a whole lot of juicy details. So, I do meth for like 6-8 months steady, and then I think, see, I can't remember it on here because somewhere right around there I get in a car accident, and I am driving a little Subaru Justy car, and I get hit by a full-size Chevy 4x4 truck that literally knocks the whole top of my car up and gets launched up on top of my car and hit me just enough off center that it knocked me sideways, or he'd taken my head off. So I go sideways and he comes on top of the car. So I got my bell rung pretty good, I guess, and I don't remember like 6 months to a year. So I can't remember if I don't remember if I quit the meth before I did the car accident. I don't think I wasn't on meth then, or it would have been in my blood. But anyway, something like that, somewhere in the timeline. I did decide to quit meth. It was crazy. I just woke up one day and I was over it. I was doing I was doing meth with people mostly that were like 10 years older than me. I hung with this woman that was a professional model. We were modeling professionally, and I was 19 and she was 29 turning 30, and she was feeling like her life was over, and I just thought that was ridiculous because she was beautiful and she was talented. She was really amazing. So I don't know, something about that was like, nah, it's not for me. And so I just woke up one day and decided I was over it, which was, I don't know, I just was over it, and I didn't do it again. So let's see. Then all sorts of sideways. Yeah, like I said, I don't know the timeline, but anyway, the car accident's all goofed up. I don't know my ass from my elbow after that. I have to move in with my parents because I don't even make sense. I can't take care of myself. And so I moved with them, 19, 20, and I just start partying again. I start doing a bunch of drugs and drinking, and I'm having a lot of fun now because I don't have the conscience I had before. And it's weird. I remember, like, how it's funny when I replay situations. Like I said, it's different each time. I need to slow down. I speak so fast. I remember, like, obviously my behavior's been heinous, and I've floored people with my behavior for a really long time. But I remember during this time, my brother being like, what are you doing? Like, it's just not even like you. And that one affected me because, he had known me since I was little and we were tight. And he knew me very well. And I remember that bothered me because I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know what was going on with me. I still wasn't level. And, and then I'm putting a bunch of foreign substances in my body and freaking illegal drugs and alcohol to top it off. So, no está bueno. No. So, that's when I start really partying. And, I just love my crown. I love my hair. It's so beautiful. I love you all. Thank you for being here with me. Let's see here. So I started partying a lot then. I started partying a whole lot. And, because I'm just doing what I want to do when I want to do it. You know what I mean? I'm just totally, like, on my time. So, I'm 20, turning 21 here. When I hit 21, it's on. I start working as a cocktail waitress in a gentleman's club in Washington, D.C. And the best way to get the best sections and to make the most is to sell the most drinks. And so the best way to sell the most drinks, or not the best way necessarily, but one way to sell some drinks is to hustle them, like hustle your customers. And so, like, I remember one time I said to this guy, one of those things that stood out, and I told him that I could outdrink him. I could drink more tequila than he could and still maintain my section if he paid my tab, which he agreed to. So I drank 16 shots of tequila. Well, I always had a drink behind the bar, and I had like 20 to 25, cash and carry tabs, like consistently flowing. It was a very busy bar. And then we went out afterwards and drank more. So, I remember in the beginning, I always had a very high tolerance for the stuff that I did, be it alcohol or whatever else we were doing. I was always the one who was designated driver. And because I could always handle my whatever, which I did not realize is like, ooh, pick me for alcoholism and addiction. Do you know what I mean? It's like totally means that you're predisposed to it. That's why, your body handles it like that. I totally didn't know that. I was just like, I'm all tough, right? I'm all badass. So, at 21, I got pregnant, and when I got pregnant, I decided my answer to that was to go out and to get as drunk as I could and to smoke as many cigarettes as I could so that it would, quote unquote, seal my fate and I'd have to make a decision, right? That was my thinking. And what ended up happening is I went out and I drank as much as I could. I think I did some cocaine, I don't remember correctly. And I did smoke a bunch of cigarettes. And I came home and I was the sickest I've ever been. I literally could not move for like, I don't even know. It was like a day or two. It was horrible. It was like you know how you don't remember pain? I mean, like I've had twins and then another kid. I've gone through childbirth twice and I'm like, oh yeah, it hurt. It was bad. Blah, 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 blah. Nah, I remember this. I remember I was so sick. Like I just didn't want to die. And then I hated myself. I hated myself for what I had done. And then, not too long later, I found out I was having twins. And, let's see here. Right after that, after that experience, I didn't drink or do any substances again during my pregnancy. And then I had I had twins. I delivered twins. I got induced at 36 weeks with 6 and 7 pound babies. Huge, healthy, beautiful babies. And, I breastfed them for 4 months, and during that time I didn't ingest anything that would be harmful to them. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I think I started having like some alcohol and stuff shortly after that, and then I was pretty much off to the races with hardcore alcoholism and, you know, doing whatever else, like drugs I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. We fast forward. And then I had a DUI in 2001. So my girls are 4. No, they're 3. That's not right. Is it 98 to 99, 2000? Yeah, they're 3. And I am remanded to a program of recovery and alcohol education, volunteer work, substance abuse programs, stuff like that. None of which I want to be a part of. None of which I pay attention to. None of which I really show up for. Let's see here. I think, yeah. I mean, like, I try to stay out of trouble, really, but, like, no, I can't really do it. So, during that time, I keep on, I mean, like, from 2000, I don't even know. In fact, I don't want to know anymore. But from 2001 to 2007, I got arrested several times. I was detained. One time I had a temporary detaining order done on me for being I laugh. Being a threat to myself and a threat to the community, which I was, with a .416 blood alcohol level. So I was walking, I was talking, I was coherently giving nutrition advice to the sheriff deputy that had detained me. I was not in a blackout. I remember all of it. I remember his face when the nurse returned with my blood alcohol level. And he was like, "Girl, are you okay?" And I remember looking at him because he had, like, he said it so compassionately that I was like, I am right now, but I'm not gonna be when I come down from this. Because by that time, I had been alcoholically drinking for a while. I had hardcore DTs a few times. I had 2 seizures that I had to, how shall we say, coach myself through from a higher perspective. Because my hands seized up and I was like, and I couldn't breathe and I was by myself. So, I had really put myself through the ringer, and needless to say, everyone else around me. Like I said, I'm giving you the crash course highlights here. At this point, like, you know, I'm absolutely unreliable. I might get a month or 2 sober. I got 4 months once. And then, in fact, and when I got those 4 months, I think everyone around me thought I was doing so well. And then I don't even remember what I did, but I used to just do some flagrant crap. Like I would take off, you know, I'd stay drunk for days. I was like the one that would call the cops, and I would get arrested, you know. I cracked my skull open. I had a bleed in my brain. I wrecked my car with my kids in it. I completely alienated and destroyed my family and all my loved ones and anyone who had any love for me. I can't imagine. I just thought about this the other day because, you know, like I said, the longer, you know, the older I get, the longer I stay sober, the more my perspective changes. You know, just like the longer I'm a mom and I relate with my children, then I think about, oh, you did that to your parents too, stupid. You know what I mean? So I was thinking about that, like, I cannot imagine, I wouldn't have wished being my parents on my worst enemy. I'm not playing. I'm sure they were thinking for a long time they were going to get a call. I mean, like, I remember one time when I went to visit them. I went to freaking visit them. I had my kids with me. And I went out the night before Christmas. They lived in Colorado. And I was walking up there. I was walking up the driveway. And I had been out at a bar riding a bull, drunk off my butt, consuming massive amounts of tequila. I thought everything was funny. I walked up the driveway, it was covered in black ice, and I didn't realize it until I slipped and I fell and I smashed my chin. And it split my chin, like, I think it split it this way, I don't really remember. It split it wide open and all this blood starts gushing, and I was like, oh shit, right? You know, it was getting all over my purse. And I go in and I'm like trying to, like, you know, keep it closed, to like stop the bleeding. It's not happening. My blood's all thin. I got massive amounts of alcohol in me. My mom comes in, there's blood everywhere. We're at my grandparents' house. And she's just like, you know, damn it, Heather. And she's like, your dad has to take you to the ER, because we know I can't drive. So my dad had to take me to the ER. And I remember the surgeon was like, do you even need anything? Like, I'm like, nope, you don't need to give me anything to stitch it up. Just get to work. We're good to go. Because I just was, like, reeking of alcohol. So, I mean, like, you know, that was my grandparents' house. I'm laughing at it now because I was so stupid, but there's nothing funny about that. It's just, like, I was beyond disrespectful. Individual talks for individual times, but there are deep disturbances for our children when we behave in such ways. And again, you know, I have, like, owned up to what I've done and seen the ramifications to my children when they were, like, when it was immediate, when they were younger, and then later, and then as I get older, more, you know, I just watch. And what I'm trying to say is, what I've owned up and apologized and been conscious of before, because of what I'd done, active in the disease of alcoholism and addiction. As I stay sober longer, I realized that, like, what I thought was this was like this. At the same time, the longer I stay sober and the more I'm a living amends, and they grow, it's this much healing and this much possibility. You know what I mean? But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the damage isn't isolated to when they're little. Like, if you think you apologize because of something, if I think I apologize for something I did to one of my daughters when she was 6.5 years old, and I think I said sorry once, but it scared the shit out of her on a core level, then, like, good for me that I said sorry, that's nice, but it is remiss of me to think that those things don't have effects later in life. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's a whole nother subject, but I guess that's just what's going through my head right now. I really, really, it's interesting. I have a clock right here and it says 2:22 as I'm saying this. I really, really, really think about my loved ones on my anniversary. You know? Because they were the ones that reaped the worst of when I behaved like that. So I continued to annihilate things, and I was in detox a few times during that time. I would still, like, I guess there was a part of me on some level that did want what those stupid people in recovery had, because I would still go to meetings. Now, sometimes I didn't want to go. Sometimes I was dropped off there, like drunk, and I could barely sit in a chair. But sometimes I did want to go, because even though I griped and said I wanted no part of those stupid people, because they were lame and I was cool, but I still found myself there. So on some level, that must not have been true for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Basically, the final straw for me, the final straw for me was one time when I came home and my children were gone, and their life was just simply still going on. They were living absent me, and I was missing them, and they were not missing me, and I was not absent them. You know, I had screwed up life royally enough that they were over it. And they were over me and my drama. So, that was the first time I decided to go and listen to some people who had managed to find a way to live with balance and without alcohol, and to create a life that they really liked, that they enjoyed showing up for. And so I went and I listened that time. You know, you can sit in a room and not hear a damn thing. You can sit in a room and hear everything. I listened that time. I also, because I had no other place to be. I had no other place to be. Like, it's like nobody wanted me anymore. That was like the last straw. Like, everybody, I was a personal trainer, and I had been for quite some time. I started personal training when I was 19. And I'm 44, by the way. Check this. Yeah, well, I'll tell you that in a minute. I don't want to get myself sidetracked, because then I'll be like, what was I saying? And I won't remember. And someone will have to type it, and we'll have to come back. In fact, I think I just forgot. Oh, dang it. I did forget where I was. Well, I'll have to come back to that. I'm so not even embarrassed. It just happens. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before now. Dang it. I don't remember. Anyway, I remember where I was in the story, though. So, I listened because I didn't have anywhere else to be. That's what it was. I was a personal trainer, and people would call me. They would say, like, okay, so here I would be like, all like super buff body, right? Then I would go on a bender and I would lose like 10 to 14 pounds. The most I ever lost was 14 pounds in 1 week. And then I would show back up at the gym and people would be like, where's your shoulders? Where did your butt go? Like, what happened? Who hijacked half your body? And then I was always like, oh, I have a stomach bug. And yet I was like super ultra healthy, the strongest woman you've ever seen, like the week prior. So people were like, man, she's the sickest healthy person we know. I remember when a guy said that, and it like really got underneath my skin. And then, you know, that last time around, it's kind of like the game was up. Everybody knew that last time I came home. My boss was kind of like, I think I understand what's up now. My fiance at the time was like, no, you're going to have to find other living arrangements. And my kids were just done, you know. So Heather had no place to be. So Heather sat right there. Heather was available. Heather was allowing, and Heather did receive. And it was the first time that the words that come to mind were needed to hear. Like, I needed to hear that there was a solution. Because if I was going to admit that everything was that fucked up and I was that upside down and my way wasn't working, then I just really needed to know that I wasn't going to die. That's pretty much it. That's like all I had. I didn't have any real surrender or anything. It was just like, man,
fuck this. This isn't working anymore. I give. That's how I felt. So I sat there, and then I spent a lot of time learning a new way that was laid out before me by others who had done it. And I got introduced to myself. And I learned to believe different things about myself and about the world around me. I learned to behave in a different way, to be accountable, to be part of my community, to be me. I got introduced to me. I was so afraid of me. I was so afraid of you meeting me. I was so afraid of that. Like, that's, I think, most of us. I really do. I think that's the ultimate soul fear. Obviously, complete and total transparency and authenticity. That's why I scare the shit out of some people. Anyway, so when I just did what people told me to do. I shut up, I listened, I did what people told me to do. And then I started to feel better, I started to live better, and I was capable of interacting in a different way. And so I remember when I got a year sober, there was, and that took a really long time, by the way, because, like, yeah, I mean, it took me like 6 years to get a year, right, of kind of trying, you know what I mean? So the time that I really decided to finally give it a go, there was a betting pool. People had bet on the fact that I would never get a year sober because I was a hard-headed case, and, well, I was looking like I was showing no signs of taking responsibility for my actions and doing anything different. So even in a program full of people who act a fool, there was a betting pool on me. Isn't that nuts? So I share that because, you know, it's funny when I share my story publicly, some people I talk to afterwards that come up to me are, you know, like the fellow hard-headed cases. And if you think, you know, that there's no chance for you or for someone else, you know, it's just absolutely not the truth, you know. There is a steady pour of goodness for each and every one of us. You just have to decide to receive it and do the work. So yeah, that is the quick, not so quick, almost an hour, about 50 minutes overview of my drinking and drugging career. That's the edited, highlighted version. And then you know, and then I began, I would say, a spiritual quest after that. I got into bodybuilding right when I got sober. I started training to compete the month I got sober. I did 4 shows within the first 2 months of my sobriety. It was the only thing that I did contrary to what I was advised. Many people told me it would be too rigorous in just trying to get sober. And I was like, you don't seem to understand that I was doing a lot of lying, a lot of hiding, a lot of this that was occupying a lot of space, and I'm very busy up there, so I need this. So it was wonderful for me to have a rigorous schedule where I had to journal my food. It was wonderful for me to have to eat at a certain time so I didn't forget and get caught up in other things because I can be so busy in my mind space. It was wonderful for me to have to train and to have to physically get in my body, because you can't take days off with that lifestyle, right? You got to show up every day and train. You got to show up every day and eat the right thing. You got to cook your food. You got to do the right thing to be successful, especially, you know, as a mother, a single mom for, you know, some of that time. So I had to be diligently dedicated on a daily basis. Alliteration, I love it. And it was extremely beneficial for me. I built an amazing body, but what it gave me was order and structure. and a real solid baseline of balancing my body and my biology. I got to really learn a lot about how I work, how others work, because this is what I do in my field, when, with personal training and nutrition. But I got to learn that there are tools where I can help myself settle down. Like there are foods that help me calm down. There are foods that help me not calm down, that will produce exactly the opposite reaction. So, because here I got sober, and that was my deal, actually. In fact, that was what was up. I was like, here I got sober, and I'm better, things are good, but I really want like this gold star standard life. Like that's what I believe, I believe that God wants audacious goodness for each and every one of us. So I want to feel that. I want to live that. How do I do that? What do I need, as a human on this planet to thrive? So I started really getting into what I need to balance my biology on a very basic level. What do I need on a daily basis? And to not only, obviously maintain my sobriety, that's a whole field of itself, but how do I continue to create balance and calm on a daily basis so that I'm not filled with anxiety, especially going through all these crazy times on earth right now? How do I find balance in my own person so I can be that in my home, in my community, with those I work with those I interact with? Like that's really what I want, I want to be a beacon of peace, right? I say that each day. A beacon of peace, a gift to God and the joy of living. How beautiful is that? Imagine God looking at you and being like, look at how they're living. Look at how they're doing it. Go ahead, Heather. What a funny thought, right? Well, I want to be that. So I wrote a couple things down, and I will post this for you. I'll take a picture and print it up on a PDF. But I wrote a little acronym down because I think it helps people. It helps people to remember something that you can recall and you can put into practice that will help you that'll help you start and practice a new behavior, right? Because, so I thought a lot about this part. So this is where, like, when I cut this video later, I'll break this. So this is where we're going to start talking about, like, what can we do today to create more balance and create more calm in our body, in our home, in our whole way of being, so we can go through this time while we are in our homes more, and we cannot see others in the same way, and we're not on the same schedules, and we're operating under different guidelines for living, restrictions. Yes, that's called word wizardry, when you make it for you. So what can we do? So I wrote down, I was thinking, what's up with people? One of the biggest things right now, well, here, let me not get ahead of myself. I wrote you a thing. Dear God, hopefully the word works. If it's not, we can make it something else, but then my acronym won't work. But like I said, I'll put this on a PDF and I'll type it up for you. I was going to put a little board, but it just didn't happen. So here you have it. So the D is for drink clean water. Like, our bodies are 60 to 72% water. Okay? I'm going to hold this up here. Our bodies are 60 to 72% water. If you don't drink enough water a day, you can't be balanced. It's just that simple. So you got to learn how to clean your water. So you drink healthy, clean water each day, and then you want to drink enough. You want to drink enough water that your mouth doesn't feel dry, that your lips don't feel dry, and you're flushing your body with all these changes in the environment, and it will actually balance. It'll help you feel better. It'll also help you lose weight. Okay? The more water you drink, the more calories your body thinks it's consuming. So if you start drinking more water, if you start adding a pint to a quart of water each day till you're about a gallon each day, then your body will say, ooh, why is he or she drinking more calories? I need to work harder. This is shining in my eyes. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to move this away. My eyes are extremely light sensitive. They're super light. So we've got all these bright lights on right now. So that one's just too much. So The first is drink clean water. The next is exercise. You gotta exercise every day, okay? Even if it's only 10 minutes. Even if it's sitting in a chair. For those that, for some of you that are in a chair, don't tell me you can't exercise. You can do a whole lot sitting in a chair. You can lift yourself up in your chair. You can do like this. You can move stuff around. Y'all don't need equipment. You can get some soup cans out of your pantry. I'll be giving you some of these workouts, by the way, on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Chieftess. I'm going to give you things that are going to help you feel better while you're home, okay? To get some exercise. Everyone can go outside in your own yard. Like I said, you don't need equipment. I have a bunch of my male friends that are like, Heather, I'm getting all soft. I can't go to the gym. And I'm like, why do you need a gym? Isn't there a construction site outside? Can't you find a pile of bricks? Pick up something heavy. Move it. Pick it up. Put it down. Pick it up. Put it down. Right? Hey. The A is all colors of food. One of the best ways to boost your immune system, to boost your immune health, to increase your energy, and to just pick up your overall health is to eat more colors in your food. Start packing your plates with lots of colors. The other thing that will do for many of you is it'll force you to incorporate different foods. Some of you right now, your whole plate is approximately one color, shades of one color, right? So by doing this, you bring in a whole, when you bring in that color palette, you bring in more vitamins, more minerals, more bioflavonoids, more antioxidants. Google those words. I'm not going into it right now. You bring in more health, more protection, and more balance. So eat lots of color, okay? And then the R is reduce stressors. I don't know if you can see my yellow. Like I said, I put it up there for you. We know some of the things that stress us out. So it's time to start cutting back on them. It's time to start being a grown-up and saying, hey, you know what? God's given me a reset. I'm getting to do things different. I get to choose how I do them. Why not choose ways that are better for me? If I find myself strung out on technology, why don't I set some limits? Right? If you are not already practicing some of the, how would I call this? There are ways to protect your energy. That it's a good time to start practicing some of, like, make sure your cell phone is plugged in at least 6 feet from your head. You want it at least 6 feet from your body, okay? It's a good idea to turn your Wi-Fi off at night. Although, that might be outdated advice with the new 5G going up as we speak. Stay tuned on what to do with that. But anyway, but minimize the interference with all the technology and all the things that are plugged in around you. Unplug stuff at night. Make yourself a peaceful space at night. Reduce the noises that bother you. Just reduce the things that agitate you, you know? There's no reason you have to deal with some of them. Or maybe you have to deal with some of them. But you can reduce maybe your exposure to it. Or you can reduce how much, you know, you take in of it. Or how much you decide to let it bother you. Each of us can take some power in reducing the things that stress us out, okay? The God, G-O-D, is ground daily. We are bioelectric creatures. I hesitate to use that word because it's so big when we're using it attached to humans. This is a electromagnetic system. This little engine right here. So, and this is a electric system. You go to the hospital. You're measured with an EKG and an EEG, right? Well, check this out. The Earth is a electromagnetic Earth. Now, no matter what color you're from, what culture you're from, where your people hail from, your mama back in the day was birthing babies bare butt on the earth or in a naturally occurring body of water, synced up to the earth. We were living in wigwams. We were living in teepees, igloos. We were living on the earth. We were touching the earth. Just like every other living creature on earth but humans, who have rubber on the bottom of their shoes, drive in cars with rubber tires, sleep in beds in homes suspended off the earth, if you know what I mean. I ask some people now, when was the last time you touched the earth? And they're like, I don't know. What do you mean? And it's been a long time. So it is essential, and I do say essential, to walk outside and to touch the earth each day, and to allow your body to calibrate, to receive the, I'm trying not to make it too scientific and complicated, receive the balance that the earth gives. We are too charged with protons, and the earth has a bunch of electrons on the surface, and so we balance as a circuit when we touch the earth. Now, when I say that, that sounds so scientific, and it sounds so, what are you talking about? What's that translate into? That means that there is less, when we balance our circuit, when we balance our biology, our bioelectric body, we reduce inflammation in the body. And that means we knock down swelling of all types, all dis-ease. And the human body is the root of inflammation. A properly grounded body cannot sustain inflammation. So if we are touching the earth with our bare feet, allowing the energy sensors in the bottom of our feet to receive from the surface of the earth, we are literally balancing our biology. We are calming inflammation, which reduces dis-ease, anxiety, and puffiness of all types. Think about that. Even when you have anxiety, what do you feel like? You feel like puffy with pressure, right? It's not like, oh, I feel so free-flowing. No, it's like puffiness. So it's essential to get outside and put your bare feet on the ground each day. Which reminds me, I have an energetic exercise, which is just like a mini meditation, so you don't feel so silly just standing out there like, what do I do with myself? I give you like a little guided scenario. I have a video that I'm going to link to this, and I'm going to put it on sale for $2.99. So if you guys want to get a grounding meditation to learn how to energetically ground each day, you can send the money to my PayPal link. I put it on there, and I will send you the link to this video, and you can start doing this daily. And we're not, I could tell you why, that's a whole nother video. We are not taught that we are energetic bodies, that we're energetic beings. We're pretty much taught that we're a bag of, bones and blood, and we're gonna get this disease and we're susceptible to that, and once you get this, it's over. But it's all about balancing our energy, and our biology responds accordingly. We're amazing. So I really do believe that that is an essential practice, and I think it makes all the difference once you start grounding each and every day. You can feel the relief when you walk outside, and if you feel silly, you can just walk outside, kick your shoes off, put your feet down, and say, "I'm letting my toes laugh." If someone asks you, they won't quite know what to make of it, but they might just giggle, I actually think too, though, more of us are becoming aware of the ways that we can feel better naturally, and that we can take advantage of some of the beautiful gifts that this earth inherently provides that help us calm down, feel better, and improve the quality of our lives each and every day. So hallelujah to the humans, right? On that one. Letter O for God is order and repetition. Some of the reason I was choosing to share with you about like the bodybuilding and stuff is you got to make this stuff a habit each day. I would advise that you wake up each day and you get outside and you ground. You find a way to get your feet on the ground. Whether that's like sitting on the, you don't have to sit on the ground. You can sit on a slab in your garage if it's like bad weather. You can sit on the sidewalk. You can sit on your driveway. You can sit there with your cup of, coffee or tea and answer your emails or chat with your friend, and you're outside, you're getting sunshine, and you're soaking up all of that goodness. So do it every day, and it allows you to establish order and structure and a pattern and repetition. And that's the way we change our behavior. If it was just enough to want something different, then each of us would accomplish each and every one of our goals. But it's not. You have to put something into practice. You have to do it each and every day. You have to make it habit, right? And the best way to do that is to do the same thing each day at the same time so that you don't get slipped up. So start with grounding first thing in the day, and use that while you're there to have some dialogue with the OG. Don't forget to ask for help. Don't forget to check in with a power greater than we and say, hey, I'm here today. I'm showing up. I'd like all the assistance you can give me. I receive all that is for my highest good. And then wait for it to come, because it will. So you got to do these things every day. And I do say that. You guys rarely hear me say things like, you have to, you got to, right? I'm like, do what you want. But if you want to make change, you do have to do it every day. It has to be daily maintenance, each and every day. Otherwise, your behavior won't change. And you got to keep taking action each day way before your belief system changes. That's why I say you got to just decide that you're going to do something different. You're going to ground each day. You're going to check in with a power greater than yourself, establishing order, repetition, and structure. And then that you're going to drink more water each day. You're going to get some exercise. You're going to eat at regular intervals. Food with more color. I know this is backwards to you guys when they flip it on there. And you're going to reduce some of the crap that you just don't need stressing you out, right? All of these things are easily doable. All of these things, none of them in themselves or even together are overwhelming. They're very simple if we keep it simple. And this is a perfect time, since we're in our homes more. Most of us have erratic or lack of schedule, which is really pinging a bunch of people out. I know that, because we think we want that freedom until it's actually here. And then we're like, oh my God, it's too much. I just can't, like, it's easy. I was thinking about this myself, as a mom. It's super easy when my son has school. I have to have him in bed at a certain time each night. I have to wake him up at a certain time each morning. I have to have all these things that make it run just like so. And then, when that changes and a couple other factors change, then there's like so many moving parts. And it can make us feel really, really upside down. And it can make a lot of us feel very anxious and like things are really out of control. So we're not going to be able to control this time on Earth, right? We're not going to be able to control the transitions and some of the new guidelines for living that are being issued, restrictions. So I can control how I choose to see things, how I choose to hold them in my heart, and how I choose to behave and take action. I don't have to react. I don't have to step into resistance. So I'm choosing this time to get back to basics and to really, really, really take good care of myself. So I wanted to share these things with you so that you can implement some of these, and hopefully, like I said, I'll write this up in a PDF for you and put this on there, and you guys stick it on your fridge. Stick it on your fridge, and let's start talking about this. We can make a check-in. You can check in with me. Did you ground? Did you talk to a power greater than we? And are you taking care of yourself? Like, who's maintaining themselves right now, right? It's the only way. It's the only way I have continued to grow and evolve and stay, not only just stay sober. I mean, gosh, I don't just stay sober now. I welcome goodness. Like, I have great relationships. I love my loved ones. I love my family. My family loves me. I love my community. My community loves me. My son, when he hears stories, he's like, I just can't even picture it. I'm like, I know. Like, and he doesn't even hear the bad, like the really bad ones. He can't even picture like the semi-heinous, which is just crazy, right? It's so crazy. So, you know, here I've told you about really extreme behavior, right? And now I'm like, I just want to feel good every day as so much is changing on earth. I just want to remain calm and balanced. I just really want to be who I want to be during this time. I really want to be the mother who I want to be. I really want to continue to be the coach that I am and to remain available in my community the way that I am. Well, and that changes, right? So in order to do that, I really have to take care of me. I really have to balance my biology. It wasn't intended to be a rhyme, but it was lovely. That was 3. Oh, that was 4 in a row. So it's the key to getting through any time is to step into your power by empowering yourself and choosing to take action that is for your highest good. You know, think about that. This truly is your temple. This field around you truly is your beautiful bubble that you want to keep clean and beautiful. And you want to bring that beauty, and you don't want the junk in it. So, you know, we can use this time to recalibrate our lives, to clean out some of our behaviors, to start taking better care of ourselves. And in that, man, you know, that's the way it works. This is a law of attraction universe. As we take better care of ourselves, as we make ourselves more of a priority, all that is sees that and gives us more capabilities, more resources, you know. You get in the flow, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, giving, loving, hospitable universe. It really is. So I'm going to pull a card for us. My nose is itching. I'm going to pull a card for us, and if you guys have any questions, I'll answer a few questions while we're here. Thank you so much for joining me. And then I will upload the link, or I'm not uploading the link. If you want to purchase my grounding meditation video, so that you can just have yourself a guided meditation to go through the first few times while you learn how to ground. And it is called grounding. That's if you guys want to Google about grounding. Then you can just send $2.99. I put my PayPal link on there. Make sure you send me the email that I'm supposed to send the link to if it's not the same as your PayPal account. And then what else? Please go to my YouTube channel and follow me. I'm trying to get followers on YouTube. I never use YouTube, and I'm going to start using YouTube because I'm going to start bringing you all sorts of great things to take care of yourself. Like, I've got home workouts for days, y'all. I've got home workouts with flipping no equipment. I mean, like, yo, shorty ain't hurting. I'm just saying. And we're all on lockdown, and I don't have a full gym. So I can do it. I can help you with it. But I want to use YouTube. So go to YouTube, search the Chieftess, and follow me. And when I think I only have like 152 followers. By the way, thank you to my new ones. So when I get 300 followers, I'm going to give you a free recipe for a personal care product. And I'm going to draw a name for a online serenity and well-being session. That's the only thing I wanted to tell you guys. I am offering a huge special. I've decided to give online sessions, 45 for 45, $45 for 45 minutes. I'm calling them Serenity and Well-Being Sessions. If you are wanting to calm down, maybe you just want to talk to somebody and kind of run through some of the stuff that's going so you can settle down and find a peaceful way to get through some of the changes that are going on in your life right now. We can connect online and chat about what's going on. and do some energetic grounding. I can give you some nutrition and some training information that you can implement ASAP to help you with your help you calm down your emotions and your physical body. And there's no reason we can't have the bodies we want during this time, right? We can continue to be better. So I'm offering 45 minutes for $45. It's called a Serenity and Well-Being Session. If you're interested, contact me. And I think that's it. Yeah, let's see what our card is. Oops, I wasn't paying attention. There we go. Our card says, energy flows where my intention goes. It's telling me that my storage space is low, so it's going to cut off on me. Energy flows where my intention goes. So, if you guys have a question, put it out there real quick. And then, oh gosh. What am I mixed with? Everybody asks me that. Okay, you want me to answer the questions that everybody really wants to know that have nothing to do with nutrition? I'm 44 years old. I turned 13 today in terms of sobriety. My ethnicity is Native American and Swedish. What else? Thank you. I do know I'm valuable today. Took a long time. Da-da-da. Oh, I'm going to be able to read the rest of this. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. I love you. I miss seeing you. What's the best vitamin to take for allergy? You go to my website and make New Healer Tea. Go to Holistic Happy Health with the W, which, by the way, I hesitate to put that out there because we're going to be changing. I'm changing all of this. But right now, you'll still be able to find it there. Go to holistichappyhealth.com, holistic with a W, and go to the blog and search New Healer Tea. If I remember, I'll send it to you. Or message me, William. Make that tea. And it is wonderful for environmental allergies because it has turmeric, it has ginger, and it has cinnamon and cloves, and a whole bunch of stuff that will help reduce inflammation. What's next? Blessings to you, Christopher. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Yeah, if y'all have questions about all of this, about anything, just, I'm not going to press my luck. Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much for putting that there. Denise just put the link for my website. If you guys can click on that, go to the blog, make New Healer Tea. I made a new version of all dry ingredients that you can buy at the store because we weren't able to find the natural turmeric. So, how to increase flexibility while in down dog. Loosening the hamstrings. I would start pressing yourself up a wall. Press your legs up against the wall, flat feet up, and then start bringing them up. You can apply as little or as much pressure as possible. You're wanting to release the tension from the bottom of the calcaneus, the heel bone, through the Achilles tendon. This is your foot. And up into the calves through the hamstrings, right? So that will help you in your down dog. And it's beautiful to see you. Hello, my friend. How are you? Okay, it's beeping me. I'm not going to push this. I love you. Thank you all so much for joining me. I love you. I love you. I love you.